Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi. Weather in 5 days and 5 minutes after a weekend of winter in May. It's all over with now. And now we're back to some springtime weather, and it's actually being reflected by the Storm Prediction Center's outlook for severe weather today. We have a marginal risk of severe weather, so that means the possibility that there could be some isolated severe thunderstorms. And the marginal risk area runs east of New York City, all of Connecticut, the eastern half of Long Island, and right up into the rest of southern, southeastern, and central New England. The back edge of the general thunderstorm activity runs down from extreme northeastern Pennsylvania and then on a north northwest, south southeast line down through New Jersey to about, say, Southern Ocean County. That's basically how they have it drawn. And on the northern edge, the general thunderstorm activity reaches up north of Albany to about Montpelier in Vermont, in through central New Hampshire, and then kind of turns eastward to a small portion of southern Maine. And this is all due to a frontal system that is moving through today to bring in the next chilly air mass down out of Canada. And here it is on the satellite loop. You can see the rotation going on here in the east. We're seeing what looks like basically little spirals, pinwheels of moisture swinging through. And all of this will play through as the day goes on. And as we look behind that weather system, right up in this area here, this is another high that is coming down out of Canada that is going to be building into the northeast. The good news is that it actually, even though it's still going to mean temperatures are going to run below average, I don't think it's going to be coming with a screaming wind and snow showers. And it should be mostly dry for the next couple of days, which is good because at least if you can get the sun out there, it actually helps to temperatures to rebound. And oftentimes, weather models this time of year tend to they underdo the rebound, and you wind up like we did yesterday, that we saw a lot of the highs reach up into the low 60s, even though most of the models suggested that temperatures wouldn't get out of the 50s. Here's the radar as of 10 a.m. Just a couple of spirals of showers going by with a few heavier downpours in the mix. So we'll just be watching for this area back in western and central Pennsylvania. That is the strongest part of this system in terms of the upper air energy, and that might flare up some thunderstorm activity later on this afternoon. So it's all part of this cold front, and then behind it, we've got another high up in Canada. You see it way up to the north, with temperatures in the teens and 20s around that high pressure. Of course, we're not going to see temperatures that low here, but we should point out that the cold is going to be extensive enough that we do have freeze warnings up for many areas from southern New England and southeastern New England, down along the New Jersey shore, the Hudson Valley, across eastern Pennsylvania. The only areas that seem to be left out here are the warmer urban centers around Philadelphia and Trenton, and around New York City and for Long Island. And those freeze warnings go all the way down into North Carolina. And we have freeze watches up in the lighter blue area into northern South Carolina and northern Georgia. This is pretty critical here as we're in mid-May, and they're well into the growing season down across the southern states. That impacts crops like peaches, for example, very big in Georgia and South Carolina. So these late season freezes can be that can cause some big problems. So here's again SPC's risk area today. We have also a slight risk of severe weather in parts of West Texas and eastern New Mexico. And then we have, of course, that marginal risk of severe weather that we pointed out for areas in my neck of the woods. For Tuesday, just a small area of marginal risk in northeast Texas. The area of risk is going to expand somewhat, though, on Wednesday through the southern and central plains from Texas all the way up into Iowa and Nebraska. So it's pretty much the same story here, even though we mentioned how this upper trough has actually, the deep upper trough in the east has pulled out. Now we're getting a weaker repeat version of it coming in here. You see that upper low that dives down, not quite as strong as the one that we saw over the weekend, but it'll be strong enough to keep temperatures below average. And then later this week, that once that pulls out, we think that the pattern will relax somewhat, and that should at least allow temperatures to get back to near average. And average temperatures this time of year are around 70. So here's our situation for today. So we get this weather front to move on through, and then it's cold, high pressure for Tuesday and for Wednesday. And then as we head into Thursday and Friday, we're going to see a low in the northern lakes and those winds. Look where the high goes at the end of the week. It goes off the mid-Atlantic coast. The winds become west-southwest, and that means temperatures are going to be able to rise. So I think by the time we get to Friday, if we can manage enough sunshine, we actually could see temperatures up into the 70s and maybe even well into the 70s. One other thing I want to point out: keep a look at in the lower right. There's a low that develops over Cuba and the Bahamas at the end of the week, and weather models have been showing this now for many days. And it moves northeastward between the Bahamas and goes well west of Bermuda. But actually, you have to wonder whether we may wind up seeing maybe some kind of subtropical system out of this. We've had named tropical storms in the month of May. I believe this would be the fifth May in the last 6 years that we would see a tropical system, but something to watch for at the end of the week. It's just more as a point of interest at this point, rather than anything specific. So as far as the rest of your day is concerned, we'll be in the upper 50s and low 60s. Watch for a few showers, maybe even an isolated thunderstorm, maybe even a stronger thunderstorm in the area of severe weather risk. And then we've got a few dry days ahead of us. And maybe by the time we get to Friday, we could see temperatures well up into the 70s, which would be well deserved. The Joe and Joe Weather Show coming up tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern Time on my YouTube channel. So be sure to join us there. And you can watch it for free on you can watch it for free on YouTube, but you can also watch it for free if you download the free Meteorologist Joe Cioffi weather app, which you can get on Google Play or the App Store. Just search my name, Meteorologist Joe Cioffi, and it should come up. Have a nice day, everybody. We'll see you later.